Hello and welcome to the Battle for Azeroth Beta. Not the Alpha. No. The Beta. Oh. God damn it. Caps. Anyway. Battle for Azeroth Beta. That is where we are. That is what we're doing. The Alpha is over. I'm just waiting for this trash mob to get killed so I can actually spec healer, because that is what a queue does. People got a bit over eager. And there we are. Okay. Now we're ready to go. So, Holy Priest is what I'm doing at the moment. Holy Priest in the Shrine of the Storm. Pretty cool dungeon. Probably the longest one there is. Currently. At least in my experience. It feels very long anyway. And this is one that people get wiped in a lot. Like, the amount of wipes I've seen in this place is higher than any other dungeon by a long way. So, onwards we go. So, something that's really important about this dungeon, the reason why people wipe a lot is because it's the mobs that can heal, and the mobs that give an aura which reduces everyone's damage taken. And by everyone, I mean all the enemies. And it's this dude down here, the Shrine Templar. So you've got to watch out for Shrine Templars. Gotta watch out for them guys, see? They've got this aura here, and it's always there, you can't purge it. Other creatures within 10 yards. Reduced damage. And we're going fairly slow here, which is a good thing, because people are oftentimes pulling a lot more than they can handle, and the healers, I can't remember I think it's these guys, the attendants maybe, but there's a heal spell and it heals everything around them to full health. Everything around them goes to full. So we've got a Shrine Templar down there, so we want to make sure he dies pretty quickly. Keep the Paladin topped up as best we can. Which is not easy, he's taking a ton of damage. I'm actually going to Guardian Shell him, because he's taking so much freaking damage. And the Shrine Templar still alive. These guys do wash away as well, which is a bit annoying. It's to knock back and a lot of damage. And I think the tank is actually eating all of them. You can see a little swirly on the floor, I believe, where they start to do it. Okay, that's the thing that's making these things live a lot longer than they ought to, dead. And they said at the start of the dungeon, do we need a healer? Prop Pally's heals are OP. Yeah, I think you're full of shit. Hand of the Protector is on the global cooldown now as well, so if you're just spamming your damage abilities, you're not going to get your heal off in time. So hopefully that's going to get reverted, but at the moment it is not the case. So I'm trying to watch everything. Okay, Rising Tide, this is unavoidable, this just happens. Nothing you can do about that. Got some droplets. God, he's taking so much freaking damage, it's insane. Like, I'm spamming Flash Heal and Serenity pretty much on cooldown at this point. But we've got a Templar there as well, like, the Templar's got to die. Just like, seriously, I'll put a skull on it. It's got to die. Yeah, do a quick binding heal or two here. I'll actually stun the Templar. Will help reduce damage taken from the Paladin a little. Yeah, Holy Wedge Chastise is so good when you spec it to be a stun. I believe these guys... Yeah, it's the Spiritualists that have got the heal, so everything around them will be healed to full if they start and finish the cast of something waters. And Anchor of Binding spawns this swirly on the floor, and if you stand in it, you take a chunk of damage and get rooted for 4 seconds. So here's Mending Rapids. See if I can get enough smites out in time. I'll actually just smite away out of that. Just so I've got Chastise ready to stun if I need to. See that Rennium Rapid, so I'll stun that. Let's do some Holy Novas. Holy Nova heals and does damage now, by the way, unlike on live. I've actually got barely any mana, I need to be careful. So I'll just, I'll melee them, yes! Yes! The melee priest. As well, I'm regenerating. So what's different on live compared to beta, other than the Holy Nova doing damage? Well, honestly nothing. I'll throw from the talents up here. You'll see that a lot of the things here you'll recognise, and the only real difference is that some things have moved, and some things have not moved. There's only two, as far as I can tell, new things, which are Holy Word Salvation and Cosmic Ripple. Cosmic Ripple is rubbish. Every time a Holy Word finishes its cooldown, you heal for like half of a prayer of healing. However, Holy Word Salvation is a 12-minute cooldown that has its cooldown reduced by 30 seconds whenever you use a Holy Word, and it does a lot of healing, applies renews to everything, and 2 stacks of Prayer of Mending. It's very powerful. And if you're playing really well, which I can guarantee I won't be, it's going to be doing... It's going to end up between a 3 and a 5 minute cooldown, after all the cooldown reductions being taken into effect. Oops, pressed the wrong button. I always do that when I try and use my Dispel. My Dispel's on T, and obviously the achievement tab is R. Y even. Gotta be careful here, because these 2 mobs can easily spawn and pull, but no, we pulled the mini-boss, so we're actually gonna die. I've never had a clean fucking pull on this boss. They always fucking get themselves killed by pulling the shit down there. God fucking damn it. Okay, so let's use that Holy Word Salvation, because things are about to go to hell really quickly here, and let's put a Divine Hymn out as well. Things are going to go terribly, because we've got a mini-boss over here. I've never seen the mini-boss pull, but it pulled. Okay, Dispel the Paladin. Watch out for the Swirlies. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. I'm going to put, oh, fuck me. I don't really care about the pushback too much. Try and put renews on everyone. Good God. Let's put my Holy Fires out to help. Jesus. I've never seen this go as bad as this. I can't believe we pulled a mini-boss and the fucking boss. Watch out for the Swirlies. Oh, fucking Christ. I have to spell myself because my cooldown, don't think it's ready. Oh dear God. This is brutal. Get reuse on all 3 of us. Use Binding Heal. Dispel. Fucking crap. I've got nothing left in the tank. Got no more cooldowns. Let's, oh actually don't want to do that from over there. Put a Halo out. Don't want to pull any extra, so I was a bit careful with the positioning there. A couple more Flash Heals. Renew. Serenity. Chastise that. Fuck me, this is intense. We did it! My God! I cannot believe we did that. That was actually quite well played, considering it was a complete and utter cock-up. Well, that makes things easier going forward, I guess. Okay, so this mini-boss has actually got abilities that I wanted to mention, but now she's dead. She does Gale Winds, I think it is, which is just like an AoE pulse around her. I think she summons a ward on the floor that you can stand in and get damage reduction or something. But yeah, that was pretty intense. That boss as well, like I was so concentrating on trying to actually heal it properly and everything that I wasn't able to talk about its abilities. So it tries to push you back at some points, like Dress-Ron style pushback, so you've got to push against it. Death Knights have it real easy though, because they can use Death's Advance. It splits into 3, and when it's in 3, all of its abilities are able to be cast by all 3 copies. It rushes forward, knocking you back. Summons the Swirlies, obviously. So Sundering Blow is an armor penetration debuff. It's 10% armor reduction per stack. And these guys also buff themselves to do 25% more damage and slow themselves by 90% movement speed, which is what this is here, where they look really big. Nothing too scary. Holy Novering. These Tide Sage Initiates are just cannon fodder. All they do is melee hit. They've got no abilities. They're out throughout the entire dungeon pretty much, and they just don't really do anything except act as a target dummy almost. Okay, moving forward. So want to be a bit careful with these apprentices. I'm not actually stunned that one. They cast something called Tempest, I believe it is, and that's like this tornado projectile that moves towards people, and if you get caught by it, it's going to take like half your health off. It's pretty nasty. Let's help out with the DPS team bit. Get the review back on the paladin. Yeah, Tempest got interrupted straight away there. Couple of smites. Holy Fire and Smite are still your go-to DPS options, along with Chastise if the mob isn't immune to stun. Okay, moving forward, we've got some more stuff. Gonna Chastise that. Renew the Paladin. I need to get better at actually using Prayer of Mending. I don't use it anywhere near as often as I should. There's that tornado I was talking about. We just need to avoid those. Let's put Sanctify out because it's going to hit everyone nicely. Binding Heal on this Death Knight. Renew again. Prayer of Mending. Holy Priest plays a lot like it does on live. It really does. And that's not a bad thing, because it's a really interactive spec. I love the fact that you've got like a big cooldown heal for single target and AoE healing, but you can get the cooldown used quite rapidly if you want to. And it's got all the utility stuff it's already got. Guardian Spirit is at 60% instead of 40% on live, so that's probably a trait that's been baked in that makes that more powerful. Excuse me. I don't know if the cooldown's better on it. I think it might be longer on live without traits, but whatever. Okay, Rune Carver Sawn is a mini-boss. A really, really dangerous mini-boss. Because if you don't act accordingly to her abilities, you are going to get absolutely fucked. And this person isn't acting accordingly, so they're going to get absolutely fucked. What you're meant to do is stun when she starts casting Carved Flesh, or you're meant to stand in this rune on the floor, because... or you could just immune it, yeah, that also works. I'll tell the tank. Oh god, I can't help you, like, stand in the rune, so Carved Flesh does an insta-kill. Yeah, Carved Flesh again, so it's on me, but it's doing no damage, look, because I'm in this room. This is how you're meant to counter this. It's actually really simple, but as you saw, like, the mage wasn't standing in the room, so just got completely destroyed. Let's stun her out of this and finish her off, and resurrect the mage. I mean, the Paladin says, yeah, I know that, but I mean, he wasn't doing it, so I had to say something. Let's get the Power Word Fortitude up again. So, off the Death Knight, and onwards we go. So we've got more of those guys that buff themselves and destroy armour, and we've got the apprentices, which I believe are the Tempest casters. So... send out a Holy Fire, just to get my damage ticking. We've actually got Remorseless Winter here, which isn't a stun anymore, as I mentioned in my Death Knight video. Remorseless Winter is on your root now, so it's actually a really bad idea to take Remorseless Winter, because a root is very rarely helpful compared to anything else. In that same row, you've got an ability that randomly makes obliterate stun. The RNG aspect of it can be quite bad, because it means diminishing returns on other stuns. And in the same row as well, besides that, is also Blinding Sleet, which is probably the one that you should be taking, since you can actually use that to instantly interrupt. Okay, dispel this dot off myself, and this is just pulsing damage into everyone, a bit like them things in More Souls, the Mariners. So on high keys and stuff, that's probably going to hit like an absolute truck. Electrifying Shock on me again, dispel that dot. Do a quick little Binding Heals. Top off with a Prayer of Healing. And let's put some renews out as well. Never really a bad thing to put out some renews.
Welcome, Brother Pike. You have arrived just in time to witness our victory.
Once our ritual is complete, the culture
Good old Holy Novas.
to Queen Ajara.
Really small damage and really small healing, but when there's a pack that big, it can quite add up. Tempest, got interrupted, so we'd have to watch out for that. So as you can see by my action bars, they're very full compared to most other classes, which I love. I love having a variety of options and tools to use. Really do. Oh, we've got aggro here. I'll fade just in case that was me. I think it was. And like I said earlier, these guys, these initiates, they're just fodder. They're nothing special whatsoever. So doing a pull like this is not a problem at all. Just means that we can kill them that much faster. So this boss coming up can be problematic. You need to kill this one first, the Gale Caller, unless you've got really solid interrupts, which as a paladin tank we should have good interrupts. That's a nice chastise crit from that. And they also place wards like we saw earlier on in the dungeon, and we need to make use of those wards because they are really useful to stand in to get the damage reduction. And also this you can stand in, and this is basically a bloodlust. It gives you massive amount of haste, 25% haste. So as long as you stand in this, it's all good times. And I believe standing in that also removes all debuffs, because every time she gets a cast off, see, we need to have everyone move into this and make sure the bosses aren't stood in there, because we don't want bosses with that much of a damage. Don't know why my damage meter is not working. I just had to close it and open it again. Let's put Sanctify down. Feeling like I want to use a cooldown. Yeah, let's just use Holy Word Salvation. It's cool. It's new. Got to use the new toys at least on the bosses, right? So yeah, this Slicing Wind, it's pretty nasty. I don't know if we can master spell it. No, we can't. So we've got to make sure we make good use of the wards that remove all debuffs, and make sure that we keep interrupting her. So we'll help DPS her down a little bit to make sure that we don't have to deal with that anymore. Very nice. And now it's just tank mechanics like hinder and cleave. It just cleaves the tank. It's nothing too serious. Move it out of the rune. Gotta be faster than that. You can see the cast time coming, so you can prepare well in advance. And that's that boss. As long as you kill the woman first, it makes it really quite straightforward. Okay, moving onwards. Oh, why do you link? Like, it's beta. Who gives a fuck about damage numbers? It's all going to be retuned. You stupid fucking idiot. Like, for real. Okay, so these guys here have got reanimated bones. So we just dispel that shield off them straight away. Boom. And then they're fucked. Really, really, really want to make sure we kill this deep sea ritualist. This guy is lethal. Every time he casts that, we take a bit of shadow damage, and we get a debuff that makes us take more shadow damage. So in that regard, it's a little bit like the Banshees in Ark, where you've got to really be on the ball with interrupts and just kill it as quickly as possible, because like now with 4 stacks, look how much damage we're taking. It's intense. And then we've got these guys. These guys aren't too tough. Basically, they will cast an ability called Deep Smash, I think it's called. And that summons swirlies. So you just move out the swirlies. Pretty straightforward stuff. But obviously, trying to control them well helps a lot, because then you don't have to move as much. And moving is always annoying for casters. Always is annoying. Because it means you've got less uptime actually doing damage or healing. But we handled that quite nicely. This has actually been quite a good run compared to previous runs I've had, because we haven't wiped yet. Like every run I've been in, we've wiped. So this Reveal Darkness is going to make all these tentacles spawn. The tentacles aren't too bad. They cast an ability called Lash. It just makes whoever it hits take 1% more damage. 1% damage buff stacking. But it never gets too high. Rip Mind. Okay, we want to dispel that off the tank if we can. It's, damage Nope, it's maximum health reduced per stack. But I wasn't able to dispel it, so I guess it's undispellable. Yeah, let's just throw out some smite. Actually, these die quickly. Up onto the bridge. We can actually start mounting up here. Makes it a little bit faster to get up. Now, here, it can be dangerous to pull multiple things on this bridge, because these two guys here, they start off fairly non-threatening. Something seems off. But they will, after about 5 seconds of combat, decide, hey, you know what's a great idea? Let's summon a massive fucking tentacle. Like this. Every time I see that graphic, I'm like, oh, what? That's a really nice timed stun. And then I remember it's not a stun anymore. It used to be so much better. Detect thoughts. Now, this is an important one. Detect thoughts is... it makes them immune to, like, all things, really. It gives them, like, 100% chance to dodge all abilities and spells. So you definitely want to interrupt that ability whenever you see it being cast. I'm not really sure what these tentacles do. I mean, obviously they attack stuff, but like, it looks like this should do a cleave attack, but whether they do or not, I can not confirm or deny. It just seems like they should. Let's do some holy nervous here, get that removed there. So detect thoughts went off again, so that guy here, you can see it here, 100% chance to evade. Mental assault, always watch where they're facing when they cast that, because they do a bunch of shadow damage and it stuns as well. A lot of things here that you've got to watch out for regarding, you know, you've got to interrupt this, that and the other, or dispel this, stun this. No, just confirming I cannot actually purge that ability off the paladin, breathing that reduces max health. Just wanted to double check. See, I did this for testing purposes, obviously. No, I really didn't, I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, as you can see, it does a bunch of damage and it stuns. So try and be mindful of when they're casting that mental assault. Them dead. Okay, well, now it's into the third boss room. But just before then, we've got a billion tentacles to deal with, but it's not a problem. Like all these guys here, they're about to turn into tentacles. So this is just AoE heaven right here. So we just move in and, like, even as a healer, I'm not going to take much damage, so we just go in and holy over the crap out of everything. Just do as much AoE as you possibly can. Like, no, very little healing is ever going to be required here, but like, Holy Nova itself is able to do the healing required. Because it's just so small. You can get a really high number of stacks from these lashes, but it just does so little damage in the first place, it's not really a problem. Okay, let's get a prayer mending up on the paladin, ready to go, as we're ready for the next boss. Now the next boss is...
It would seem you
it
have
can kill you.
guests, Lord Stormsong.
It can kill you on normal. Got Queen Azara up there. So this boss has a mind control mechanic, although it's not a true mind control. It's more... it feels like a mind control, because everything about it suggests that it should be, because you can attack the person that's mind controlled, and they have casts that they're unable to control and stuff like that. But they can actually move around, and that's important because the boss has an ability which causes all these purple blobs to spawn, and they fixate on each party member that isn't the target of this spell. And if they touch you, I believe they stun you and do a shit ton of damage. However, the mind control person can actually pick them up. So we see here Awaken the Void, all these little swirlies spawn, and out of each of those, we have a orb that spawns and fixates us. But like the Death Knight, he's got that squid on his head and he's doing the right thing here. He's running around. And what we want to do now is continuously interrupt the mind control person until the mind control itself actually fades away. So he didn't soak my orb, which is a little annoying because I'm going to have 2 of them around on me next time we go into that phase. Let's use Body and Soul and quickly sprint away from this. Put Holy Wed Serenity on the tank as we get some distance. And just keep on doing stuff. Let's quickly put a Holy Fire on it. So I'm mind controlled now, so I'm going to run into all these orbs as best I can. think that was all of them. So people are... I'm just going to stand still now because I'm silenced, I can't do anything, I need to have the mind control broken. Dispel all that frost fear off me because I don't want to be covered in dots. Be careful when you are attacking the mind control person because it is kind of shitty, especially if you've got something like a bleed that can't be dispelled. Like in a previous run here, I had a feral druid, and he put rake, he put rip up, he put so much damage on me, and I just had to spam heal myself just to stay alive rather than actually focus on the tank. So after this boss is dead, you go for a little swim. You have jellyfish, which you don't run into, otherwise they will stun you. So watch out for those. I think I should be okay here. Yeah, that person got hit. Just dispel it. We go around this corner here, and then we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, where the fourth boss is living. But before we engage the fourth boss, we have these little abyssal eels. But go for a swim. These things are actually dangerous. There are so many of them, and they do a shadow damage stacking dot, and it's actually pretty friggin' nasty, as I found out when I was tanking this. So up to 8 stacks, 3000 shadow damage taken per second. Can't be dispelled. Hits like a truck. And I believe all of your abilities that cause you to like put reticules on the floor and stuff, and things other than that, like Demon Hunter soul fragments, they spawn at the bottom of the ocean there, like on the sea floor, out of your range. It really is really bad. Okay, so this big guy here, he does a lot of damage, but he's really slow, so you can kite him, which is great. And these tentacle squiddy things, they're not a threat at all. They do consume essence, and that's all they do. But consume essence heals them for about 40 to 50% of their max health. So once they start taking damage, it is very important to actually make sure you interrupt it. Don't know if stuns work actually. So as you can see, the paladin's taking quite a lot of damage because this guy does do a lot of damage. Like even says if you mouse over it, look, slow movement speed, mighty melee swings. So in high keys, this thing is going to be like, you're not going to be able to even face it unless you've got powerful cooldowns ready. Okay, another boss which has true mind control-ish kind of things going on. I say mind control, it's not actually. It's like the last boss of Ankahet, the Old Kingdom, the Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. So you've got to watch out because Whispers of Power, every stack of this, he applies it to you and it instantly starts stacking up, yeah? There's nothing you can do about it until you actually remove it yourself. But I'm not going to remove it. So it's like 10% of your max health you cannot be healed above. So like 5 stacks I can't be healed above 50%, 6 stacks I can't be healed above 40%, stuff like that. But it also increases your damage and healing that you're able to do, so you want to dispel it at the last moment. And the reason it's useful is because that extra damage that it allows you to do makes you able to kill this big guy faster, because you get thrown into this insanity realm at 100 energy, and the healer and the tank have to deal with the big thing, and the DPS have to deal with the squids. And once the big thing's dead, then obviously you can help out. And I assume that the DPS also can move into the other section as well. So we need to DPS past the shielder there and just interrupt it. Throughout the entire fight, he's spawning these tentacles. They're not actually that threatening. They do hit really hard, but it's so easy just to avoid everything that they even do. You see like a little shockwave pattern on the floor. Yeah, so he gave me this thing again. So I need to ideally be using all my damaging abilities while I've got this, because I get more and more damage the longer I've got it. That's Serenity the tank. So you can see this like swirly thing here. That's where the damage is from. Okay, I've got 5 stacks now, so we can't be healed above 50%. Let's just keep on trying to do some damage. Come on, Holy Fire, cooldown. And now I'm going to reset it off myself because I'm getting really low. I'm going to run towards the tank a bit so we can hit myself and a couple of other people with the Serenity. Let's use Salvation, just for the hell of it. Unless you Divine him as well, why the hell not?
Listen to the music of the drum.
Okay, back to this dude. So, want to DPS him down, tank and healer DPS him down. And then once he's dead, oh no, we actually ended that phase really fast. Interesting. And the boss is dead.
will await.
The boss is dead. Do we get anything from him? Yes, we do. Okay, very nice.
You dare to interfere in my affairs.
Because this is a brand new character, it's
What
bound to be a big
makes
upgrade.
you
Yep,
think you
sure as
can
hell is.
oppose my
So I will
will?
equip that. So that was
Enjoy
Shrine of the
this
Storm.
victory.
Shrine
It will
of the
be
Storm.
your last.
It is the end of zone dungeon for Stormsong Valley. As Alliance, you'll feel more connected to this dungeon than you will the Horde, because as the Horde, you just come here kind of for the hell of it, really. There's not like a set-in-stone reason why you need to be here. Whereas, as the Alliance, you have the entire story of Stormsong Valley giving you incentive to come here and fix the problems. But it's a good dungeon. It's a little lengthy, but as long as you've got people that are capable interrupters, it should go perfectly fine, because that is the main thing in this dungeon. It really is. It's a big deal. Lots of things here will kill you very quickly or heal their allies to full if you don't have interrupts. As for the Holy Priest, it's great. It's a great spec. It's very similar to what it is on live, as I said, but that's not a bad thing. Having so many tools, like for single target healing, you've got 2 direct heals, you've got your Prayer of Mending, which kind of bounces around obviously, so it's not strictly single target, you've got your Holy Word Serenity, you've got Renew, and for AoE you've got Binding Heal if you spec into it, you've got Halo if you spec into it, Prayer of Healing, Sanctify, or whatever it's called. You've just got so many tools for so many aspects of the job, and you've got your Stun with Holy Word Chastise, which is so useful. Shackle Undead is going to be useful maybe in later dungeons, as is Mind Control. You've just got so much utility. The only downside is you don't have any damage reduction, such as Disc, you know, like with its barriers and things. But aside from that, you're an absolute healing machine with a lot of different tools, including a cheat death, which is obviously incredible. It's a brilliant spec. Cannot say enough good things about the Holy Priest. So if you're into Holy Priest on live, you're going to miss your trait active ability, your artifact ability, but you've still got a lot of stuff, and a couple of other things have been baked in. So it's all good. It's all good. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.